Hi everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. It is mid-May right now here in my Northern California Zone 9B garden, and everything is looking absolutely gorgeous. We have had a fabulous gardening year this year. We haven't been too hot yet. We've gotten a little bit of rain, but we've gotten enough warmth for the flowers to just absolutely go crazy. I feel like we're about a month ahead of where we were last year, this time of year. And a lot of you have been messaging me asking if I could show more before and after clips during garden tours. So I'm going to try and do that today. I will show you all some clips of my last year's May garden tour, just so that you can see how far we've come in just a year. If you hear a little bit of chirping going on, that's because we have babies. We have a bird's nest right there, and the mama just came and brought the babies. I don't want to get too close. We did have another nest just kind of right up here, but they actually abandoned that. I think that I was disturbing them just a little too much. It was right by our front door. So they abandoned their nest, but they're still there and they have babies there. And I can't see them. I wish I could get my head up there and see them. But they're up kind of, I'll show you guys. I can't get my eyes on them quite yet. So I can't wait to see them kind of learning to fly all around. All right, so let me just get started. Grab a cup of coffee because this is going to be a long one. Okay, so since I'm up here already by the front porch, I might as well get started here. My front porch is a very shady area. You can see it's kind of inset in, we call these California rooms, or loggias is another name for them. Basically, it's completely covered, and so it gets pretty much full shade all day, except for in the morning as the sun is rising. It gets about 20 minutes of direct sun, and that's it. So I've kind of had to figure out what plants I can plant in these two big pots that can handle more shade. But I have to say, it's been kind of nice because I have such a new young garden and I don't have a lot of mature trees yet. I don't really have a lot of space to play with deep shade. And so this kind of makes it fun that I can play around just a little bit with it. So in these two big terracotta pots on either side, I have these Japanese maples. They are coral bark maples, and they are perfect because here in California, our Japanese maples need a little bit more protection than other areas of the country. So we really can't put Japanese maples in full sun. So this is a fabulous place for these maples. I don't know if I'm going to leave these here long term. I don't know how they're going to do in these pots, but I think that they look absolutely beautiful. And I really hope that they kind of grow and kind of arch over the door. I think that that would be amazing. And then eventually I want to replace that light with some type of chandelier. I'll see. I mean, I really like this setup right now. I think it's really pretty. Then underneath the Japanese maples, I have Browalia from Proven Winners. This is Endless Flirtation Browalia. It's really beautiful. They also have Endless Illumination, which is a purple color. I think I prefer the white one better because the white one, of course, if you're planting in the shade, you want something that's going to shine. And this really does shine. Now, I have planted this Browalia in other areas of my garden that do get a little bit more sun, and the Browalia couldn't handle it. They absolutely melted almost immediately. So this, to me, Browalia to me in Zone 9B in California is a full shade plant, definitely full shade. Then we have some Creeping Jenny as a trailer, and then also some of this Lobularia. I cannot for the life of me remember if this is just a regular Lobularia or if this is Snow Princess Lobularia from Proven Winners. If it is Snow Princess, I have to look back on the videos when I planted this. I planted that, I think, last fall when I was planting a fall container. If it's Proven Winners Snow Princess Lobularia, I'm excited about that. I would be excited because that Lobularia can handle our heat. Regular Lobularia that you get like in the 6-packs, once it gets too hot, it just kind of melts and kind of stops blooming. So I'll be watching these guys and seeing how they do. I'll show you some other Lobularia right over there from Proven Winners that is the Proven Winners variety, and that is, I know it's going to bloom all season, so I'm really excited about it. A lot of people have asked me about these metal spheres right here. These guys I actually got at, it's called Apple Hill. It's this, you know, how do I describe it? It's this kind of craft fair type of thing that happens every fall, and you go and you pick apples, and it's just this beautiful fun thing. And there's all these vendors that are selling things. And so these are actually wine barrel, things like the metals go around wine barrels, and the gentleman created them into spheres, and they're supposed to be hung from trees, which I am going to hang them from a tree eventually, but I put them here like this for Christmas, and I just love them so much. I just want to leave them there. I just think that they're beautiful. And then I do have to point out this gorgeous, stunning pussy willow wreath. My friend Raphael from Park Winters, he made this. He actually did a YouTube video of making these, and I messaged him after I saw that video, and I said, that is so beautiful. I want one. And he gifted this to me. And it is just the most beautiful thing. I'm pretty sure he does sell this on his website. He sells a lot of the things that he makes, or Park Winters sells a lot of their stuff, their merchandise on their website. So I'll try and remember to link that in the description down below. But this is just the most beautiful wreath. He grew these pussy willow stems on the flower farm, and then he shaped it into a wreath form. And I am just absolutely obsessed with it. I love it so very much, and I think it just makes this whole area. So let me take you this way. Let me show you the birds real quick, because I don't think Mama's here. They made their nest in this little area right here, and you can see why I can't see them. Yeah, I can't see them. They're like tucked in right there, but I can hear them for sure. And it's really cute. And Mama's over there, over by the black walnut tree, just waiting for me to walk away so she can feed her babies a little more. I just love it. I love when the birds make nests here. They're so cute. People complain and they say they're kind of messy. And it's like, yeah, I know, but we can always clean them up. It's just, to me, it's so fun to have them around. Okay, so let me show you guys my zigzag planter. My zigzag planter, oh, man, it is just looking so, I am so happy with it. It is so pink. I would say the star of the show is the Stratosphere Pink Gara. I mean, look at how beautiful. Let me bring you guys over from this direction. Look at how beautiful this looks with the Gara just kind of poking up all over the place. The Tiara Pink Superunia is absolutely stunning. Unfortunately, the Whirlwind Blue Scaevola is having a hard time keeping up. I'm actually thinking about coming in and pulling that and transplanting it to other areas, because I have it dotted all throughout this zigzag planter, but it just can't keep up with the Tiara Pink. It's just, oh my gosh, it's just such a beautiful plant. Tiara Pink Superunia is a new one, a relatively new one for Proven Winners. I think it's new in garden centers this year. They got Tiara Pink and Tiara Blue, and Tiara Pink is significantly more vigorous than Tiara Blue is, as you can see here. It's just beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful. And then I do have my Fragrant Delight heliotrope in front of it. It's almost getting taken over by the Tiara Pink, if you can believe it. That'll grow. The heliotrope will grow to, I don't know, maybe like 2 to 3 feet tall eventually. So I just got to give it time, but you can see what is growing fastest. It's the Stratosphere Gara, and then the Tiara Pink Superunia for sure. And then in between, I have these guys are totem pole panicums, and these guys are supposed to get 6 feet tall, and they're just starting to grow right now. You can kind of see them poking up here. And so I'm really excited, because right now the star of the show is the Gara, but I feel like in like a month or two, the star of the show is going to be the grasses, the totem pole panicums. So I don't know. I just think this is going to be a really fun, really great year for the zigzag planter. I just think it's really beautiful. And then behind it, we have these monsters. These are the Vista View hanging baskets. The Vista View is a recipe of the year for Proven Winners. Whew, it's about time for me to cut these back, I think. They are going absolutely crazy, absolutely crazy. I wanted to show you guys these because a lot of you thought that the bubblegum was going to take over the Stratosphere White Gara and it was going to smother it, but they're hanging on. The Stratosphere White is poking out, and it's definitely acting like a thriller. It's a little behind the rest of them, but it is still looking really pretty. Now, we did have a little bit of a problem with budworms in the past couple weeks. So we have been spraying BT for budworms. So these did get affected just a little bit. So you might see a couple of, here you go. Can you see this? So you might see, if you see something like that, that's a sign of budworms, that something was on here and it was chewing all the blooms. I think we got it, you know, in enough time. I mean, I know we got it in enough time so that we didn't lose all the blooms on it. But the budworms definitely snuck up on us. I mean, I shouldn't say that. We knew they were coming. They come every single year. They came really fast this year, basically. So these guys are looking absolutely beautiful. I normally plan on cutting, you guys, I'm so bad at cutting back my annuals. I just hate doing it. It just takes so much willpower to cut back something beautiful like this. But as I'm seeing this, I know it needs to be cut back. And I usually plan on cutting back in like late June, but I think I'm going to cut it back in late May this year. One, because it's been such a lovely year growing. Everything's been so happy. But two, I also planted these earlier than I normally do. I got my shipment of annuals much earlier, like in February. So they're a little bit ahead of where they would normally be. So I'm just looking at it and thinking, okay, it's just about time to start to cut these guys back. So I'm mentally trying to prepare myself for that. But they're looking beautiful and we've really been enjoying them. And the intensity of pink just, it just gives me so much joy. I know not everybody likes pink in their garden, but I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that I love pink in my garden. And to me, this is just gorgeous. Look at that. Oh my gosh. And then underneath each hanging basket, I was having trouble because we have these hanging baskets hooked to drip, and they were dripping water onto my wood deck. And my wood deck is, it's wearing out. But, I want it to wear out as slowly as possible so we don't have to replace it too soon. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to somehow protect the deck from all the water that was draining out of the hanging baskets. So what I decided to do is I decided to plant another planter right underneath the hanging baskets. And I did not hook this planter up to drip. The only water that this planter gets is the water that drips out of the hanging basket, and I think it is looking wonderful. It has Superunia Royal Velvet in it. It has Superbina Stormburst, and then it also has this Angel Wings Senecio, and I really love the combination. I think it is really, really gorgeous, and it solved a problem that I was having in such a really, just a beautiful way. Now, there are really gorgeous terracotta pots under there that you can't even see that match these pots over there, but it doesn't even really matter. I mean, I could have used plastic pots and it's completely covered. So just something to think about if you're going to plant big, vigorous plants like Superunias and Superbinas. All right, coming this way, I wanted to show you guys my Espalier. This is my Star Jasmine Espalier, and I could not be happier with it. It is blooming. Star Jasmine, I always imagine, or I always think about it blooming right around Mother's Day, and it does not disappoint. Like every Mother's Day, I know it starts blooming, and the smell is just the most beautiful, wonderful, lovely, lovely thing. So I have trained this up to follow an Espalier. It looks kind of like, I don't want to say messy because it's not messy, but it looks really full right now because I haven't trimmed it because I knew the blooms were coming and I didn't want to trim it. As soon as the blooms fade, I'm going to trim it and I'm going to make it nice and clean and train everything and all that kind of stuff. But if you want the blooms, you want the blooms from Star Jasmine, you don't want to trim it right before. So you just have to kind of hold back a little bit. Same thing for honeysuckle. If you're growing honeysuckle, or if you're Espalier in honeysuckle, which I did at my last house, you just, at some point, it's going to get a little bit overgrown because you want to maintain the blooms, because that's why you do it, is for the lovely, beautiful, beautiful blooms. So I planted this not last fall, but the fall before. So it's about a year and a half old. and you can see it's almost completely filled in. It has grown so much faster than I imagined it would, and I think it's because we get this beautiful reflection of the warm morning sun here off of this stucco wall. I cannot imagine this stucco wall not having this espalier on it. I mean, it would have just been this one big blank white wall in the very front of my house. So it was just the absolute perfect spot to have an espalier right there. So if you have a spot in your home, if you have a fence, or if you have a cinder block wall, or if you have just something that's big and blank, consider doing an espalier. And you can choose a plant that doesn't take a lot of work. The star jasmine does not take a lot of work. If you do honeysuckle, that takes a lot of work. If you do ivy, that takes a ton of work. But something like a star jasmine does not take a lot of work at all, and I just love it. So underneath my star jasmine espalier, I have what was supposed to be my black and white garden, but you can see that concept did not work out at all. What you mainly see here, this white flower, is Superbina whiteout, and this is just such a fabulous plant. It is just such a good plant. I threw it in here, not really thinking too much about it, thinking it was going to mix in with this black mondo grass and with this bush morning glory, and it has just absolutely taken over. It's just such a good plant. I'm gonna plan on taking all this out, and I have an idea of what I want to replace it with, but I don't want to take it out and leave it a blank spot, especially when I have these beautiful flowers here. The bush morning glory is a complete fail. It is just the tag at the store said it was supposed to bloom all season long, absolutely all season, and I have one bloom on it right now. So maybe it's just not the right spot for it or something, but it just doesn't work. And then the black mondo grass, I'm so interested because a lot of you, when I plant black mondo grass, you say, oh, that's so invasive, it's going to take over. You can see it. I mean, I don't even know if you can see. It doesn't take over here. I wish it took over more because I love black mondo grass. I think it is so beautiful, and I would love to have more in my garden, but it just doesn't do very well for us. I mean, it just kind of stays put and it doesn't grow at all. So this bed is kind of a work in progress, but it's nice to see what I needed, what's going to work here, what's not going to work here. So this is TBD, not TBD. This is to be worked on eventually. Okay, and then coming over this way, this is probably one of my most favorite views of the garden right now. This that I'm showing you right here, I just think it is so gorgeous. It is so beautiful. We have this berm right here. I don't even know if you guys can tell that it's a berm, but basically it's a raised area that we plan just to have a little bit interest in our very, very flat property. And eventually we are going to put a fence over on the other side of the berm, but for right now I decided to plant it up, and I'm so happy I did because oh my gosh, I just think it looks so beautiful. So first off, the two trees that I have on top of the berm, this is Blue Angel Cedar of Lebanon. I got this from Isley Nursery, and this is a hit, you guys. It is the weirdest, most funky, most Dr. Seuss tree, but I'm obsessed with it. I love it so much. It is still staked up, and it definitely needs to be staked up. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to take the stake off because it is such a flimsy tree. You can see it kind of falling over. I will let you guys know. I just planted this. It's only a couple of months old, so I will let you guys know if it ever gets strong enough to where I feel like I don't have to stake it. But for right now, it's just going to stay on the stake, and I'm just going to completely enjoy it. Right here, I have a lavender twist redbud that was a gift from my friend Katie. It is so, so beautiful. Last year, it did get a little bit of a fungus on it, Cercospora, which is a redbud fungus, and I treated it with copper, and man, it looks beautiful this year. So I think I'm going to come through and I'm going to treat it one more time just to make sure that it stays nice and clean all season long, but I am just so happy with this tree. It's beautiful. Then underneath there, we have one of my absolute favorite plants, which, yes, I have many, but this one is so, so great. This is Superbina Pink Cashmere, and it is part of my Best for the West line collection with proven winners, which is basically a collection to say this plant does really well in a hot, dry climate, and you can see how well it does. It's still going to keep growing. It's going to get really, really big, and this one will overwinter for me here in Zone 9B, so I'm just planning to leave it here. It's going to be so gorgeous in between these miniature junipers right here that are only going to get about 2 feet tall. I love it. I love it so much. Then back behind it, I have my other one of my favorite plants, and this is Plain the Blue Salvia. This plant is just, if you're a new gardener, go get this plant. I promise you, you will be so happy that you got this plant. There's pollinators all over it. It started blooming, and it's going to bloom absolutely all season long. And what I love the most about this view, I already told you guys this in another video, but I have the soft pink, I have the soft purple. This is Blushing Princess Lobularia from Proven Winners. This is the variety that's going to be able to handle our triple digit temperatures and, you know, not absolutely die immediately. And then I have the purple of the Plain the Blue Salvia and the Meteor Shower Verbena. But my favorite thing is that I have the Nifofia back there. This hot orange color that it's like, it's so interesting. It's so unexpected to have that color in this kind of garden bed area. And to me, it just makes it. It makes the color, it makes it so interesting. It's like that contrasting colors, right? Or complementary colors. This is actually called Hot and Cold Nifofia. It is so beautiful. To me, it is just like a definite that you have to have in your garden because of that contrast that it brings to all these other beautiful frilly type of plants. So speaking of frilly plants, we have the iceberg roses. They are kind of coming out of their first huge flush, but these guys, they're going to keep blooming all season long. And I will come in there and I will deadhead them, but you really don't have to. You don't have, if you want to be lazy, if you want to be a lazy gardener, which I am definitely a lazy gardener sometimes, you don't have to deadhead them and they'll just keep blooming. They're such a fabulous rose, and which is why I think that they're so popular. I always call them parking lot plants, which is so rude of me, but it's true. They are parking lot plants, but I think that they're parking lot plants because they perform so incredibly well. Right underneath that, I have my Meteor Shower Verbena, which is a Verbena bonariensis. You can see there's pollinators, there's bees absolutely all over it. This is one of my favorite plants because it is sterile or almost sterile. Verbena bonariensis is notorious for reseeding itself, which sometimes you might want, right? A lot of people like that Verbena bonariensis reseeds itself, but this variety is absolutely sterile. So this is actually from last year, and it did not reseed itself at all in my garden, which is really fabulous. Right underneath that, I have another one of my favorite, I'm sorry, I'm going to keep saying that. It's another one of my favorite plants. It is Superbina Raspberry, and it is just such a beautiful, saturated, bright color. I cannot get enough of it. I do have my Cat's Pajamas Nepeta. This grouping right now is fading out of its first bloom. I have another grouping over there that's still in full swing, but I will be kind of shearing them back in probably a couple weeks just so that I can get a second flush. This right here, this is Osteosperma Moonglow, and it's not doing well. This is one that I can show you that is it's just not working for me. I'm not sure what's going on. This one died immediately, and now these two are kind of dying. And it's not just that they're going out of bloom, it's that they're like literally dying. And we've checked to make sure that there's drip to them. I don't know if it's just too hot in this area or if something's going on, maybe Monty's peeing on them. It doesn't really look like that type of damage, but I don't know. This is just kind of not working right now. So that's unfortunate, but that's okay. That definitely does happen. And I want to emphasize that it does happen. You can plant a plant and you can do everything correct, and it just might not be the right spot for that plant, or not the right garden for that plant, maybe. Coming over here, I have my Salvia leucantha, which is a really beautiful addition to a garden. It always blooms a little bit later. This is kind of the first bloom, which is kind of like a baby bloom, but later in the fall, it's going to be covered with these beautiful soft purple blooms. I have a white one as well that I got from my friend Pri, and it is just so gorgeous. I love it. It's such a fabulous addition to the garden, and it is definitely one plant that I would say plant in your garden. If you live in a hot climate, this is a great plant, and you've probably seen it in other gardens and maybe not known what it is, but it is called Salvia leucantha. My hibiscus, my summerific hibiscus is starting to grow up, which is looking really good. My sweet romance lavender river is looking absolutely beautiful. See, there's so much that I can show you. I want to come over this way. I don't want to forget this area. This is my whirlwind blue scaevola. This actually overwintered from last year. I did have a section of it that died, but I'm pretty sure that was because Monty smothered it, because that was his sleeping area all last year. So I pulled it out of that section, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it from the zigzag planter, which you can't see them, and put it over here where it's going to have a chance to shine. Another plant that overwintered from last year was my Surefire Rose Begonia right here. I cut it all the way back, and you can see it's starting to flush out in blooms. This plant is fabulous because it can handle the shade and it can handle the sun. So it's getting completely shaded right now by my orange tree, but it gets some hot afternoon sun. So that's kind of a hard area to plant in, and you can see this plant is handling it like it's absolutely no problem. Then if you see this crazy stuff back here, I do need to come stake these up. These are my summer drummer Aliums. They're so cool and so beautiful. They are like 7 feet tall, maybe, I would say. They're just the coolest plants, and I need to plant more of them for sure, because they're just such a statement in the garden. They were standing absolutely straight up like that one right there, but then they started falling over, which I'm kind of bummed about, but that's okay. I'm just going to stake them up, and they're going to be absolutely gorgeous. And then right in there, that is my tree dahlia that is starting to sprout, which is really exciting, and that's another one that's going to get like 9 feet tall. So I'm definitely going to have some beautiful height here, and I'm excited. I think it's going to look really gorgeous. This is my Romantica ball gown. I cannot believe how many petals this rose has. I know you guys don't like it when I pet the rose petals, but I love doing it. I don't care. So beautiful. This is such a fabulous rose. And one thing I'll show you guys is that there's no black spot. There's no disease on this rose. It is just such a healthy, strong rose. I definitely recommend it. So it's called Romantica ball gown. We've been deadheading this. One of my goals in life, I should say, is to follow Monty Don's advice and be able to get out in the garden and deadhead every single day. But I'm just not in that season of life just yet. I have too much going on, with work and kids and all that kind of stuff. So I will be patient with myself, and I will be, I will forgive myself for not deadheading absolutely every day. But that is my goal, is to be one of those people that can come out and deadhead every day, that have set their life up to be able to deadhead every day. Underneath the Romantica ball gown, I have kind of a sea of Russian sage. This is denim and lace Russian sage, which is just starting to grow. It's looking beautiful. This is their second year, which I'm really excited about because they were just babies last year, and they're getting a little bit bigger this year, which is really, really fun. And then I wanted to show you my Miss Molly butterfly bush. This one is not quite blooming yet. It's almost blooming, but I'll show you another one over there further on in the orchard garden that's blooming. It's just such a lovely, beautiful plant. I did want to tell you guys that I would have chosen this shrub as one of my best for the West options, because for me, this shrub is just such a fantastic plant for those of us in California. However, this is not a sterile butterfly bush. So if you live in Oregon or if you live in Washington, you're not going to be able to buy this plant because it's illegal to buy non-sterile butterfly bushes in Oregon and Washington. So that's why it's not on my best for the West list. But if you live in California, this is a fantastic plant. And oh, I see a bloom over here. Look at that. I mean, just look at how beautiful that is. It's just such a beautiful bloom. This reminds me a lot of the Superbina Raspberry color. Very saturated, very, very strong. And my friend Michael Glassman, who's a landscape designer, he leans heavily on this plant because it's very low maintenance for people. You can plant this and then just not even worry about it. Okay, and then coming over this way, you can see the Cat's Pajamas Nepeta over here. This one is a little behind the other one, probably because it's getting a little protection from the orange trees. You can see my entire sea of lemon coral sedum lining the border. It is in full bloom right now. And this is what lemon coral sedum looks like in full bloom, which I am not a fan of. I don't like this bloom. If I had more time, I would have come here and I would have trimmed it all back and cut it all back. But you know, it's fine. I'll just leave it. It's really funny because I had a couple people message me and ask me if I double up planted the lemon coral sedum. I only did one along this line, right along my border. This is not doubled up. This is actually how big they get that quickly. So once they go out of bloom, then they're going to kind of shrink back down a little bit. But you can kind of see what they look like while they're in bloom. And then after they go back out of bloom, they go back to that chartreusey green color, which is really, really beautiful. Over here, I have my Ladybird Sunglow Callilophus. It's absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful. I do have some Breath of Heaven right here that I'm not really liking. I'm having trouble with Breath of Heaven in this garden bed. My last garden, it was absolutely beautiful. It was, you know, I could grow it and it was just not a big deal. I'm wondering if it has to do with my water, because my water here, I'm on well and we have a lot of boron in our water. And so I'm wondering if that's causing the problem. I think that's causing the problem with my Chinese fringe flower. I'll show you that over in the center island. I know it's causing a problem with my azaleas. So I just have some issues going on with certain plants. And like I said, sometimes you can do everything right and it's just not the right spot for it. So this Breath of Heaven isn't supposed to be this yellow looking. It's supposed to be more chartreusey looking. And it's just, I don't know, it's just not looking 100%. So I'll keep an eye on it and I'll see kind of what's going on and what I want to do. Here you can see on my Tutori, I have some orange Thunbergia with a giant weed that I just noticed right in the middle. I'll deal with that in a little bit. But underplanted is more of the Superbina Raspberry, just to repeat it. And then of course, more of the plain, the blue Salvia, which is gorgeous. I'm going to step back here. Here you can see I have oak leaf hydrangeas. I have one here and then I have another one here. They're so tiny right now and they're going to get so huge, but I just wanted to make sure that I got them on video when they were blooming this year, because next year I bet you they'll be double if not triple in size, which I'm super, super excited about, which is going to be really fun. Then I wanted to show you my purple lilac vine right here. It is out of bloom. Purple lilac vine blooms right around February and it's like stunningly beautiful, but this is what it looks like when it's not blooming. It just kind of looks like a evergreen vine. It's really, really beautiful still, but of course no blooms on it. Okay, and then coming further along this way, you can see I have my Cardon plant, which is looking so cool. I love this plant. You can see I have all of the little seed heads or buds up there, and they're all going to start blooming this electric purple flower, very similar to artichoke flowers. So I'm just waiting for that. I cannot wait to see. I am not going to pick them. You can eat Cardons. You eat the rib area, this area, but I'm not going to bother. I want the blooms for sure. And then I have my pomegranate tree right here, which is looking really good. I do have some blooms over here looking absolutely gorgeous. This poor tree I have pruned to within an inch of its life, but you can see it took well to the prune job. I'm still dealing with a little bit of bushiness down at the bottom, but it looks so much better than it did last year. It just looks a little bit more compact. It's raised up, right, limbed up, and to me it looks really, really great. I'm very, very happy with it. Okay, coming over here we have some Royal Raspberry Asteraki. I don't know what's going on with this one. It is not looking happy right there, but the other two look really good. I do want to warn you guys, I am having trouble with this plant. I'm having trouble with it keeping it alive. I planted 3 of them over in my long border. I transplanted 2 of them. 2 of them died. I planted a new one. That one was looking really terrible, so I just ended up taking it out. These 3 are actually new, and you can see that one is having a lot of trouble as well. So it's a beautiful plant, but I am having a little bit of trouble with it, and I just wanted to give you guys a heads up before you did purchase it, that I'm still kind of trying to work it out and trying to figure out what's going on. Behind there, I have some Shasta daisies. They're banana cream too, and they're about to start blooming, which I'm really excited about. I have my Rise Up Emberaze Rose that's looking gorgeous. More plain the blue Salvia, more plain the blue Salvia, more plain the blue Salvia. It's just such a great plant. It is such a great plant. Okay, coming over this way, I wanted to show you guys, I have my, oh, there's a hummingbird on it. Can you guys see that? My Chicklet Orange Tacoma or Esperanza. Oh, I love this plant. I love it so much. There's a new variety called Chicklet Gold that I planted over there. It's not big enough yet. Oh my gosh, can you see that? Oh. Oh my gosh, now it's on the pomegranate tree. That makes me so happy. I even stopped and I took some footage so I could do a reel for Instagram, and it was just hanging out. It was going on these, and it was going on the Orange Blaze Nyphophia right here. That hummingbird is a happy hummingbird in this garden. That makes me so happy. Okay, so I don't know what I was talking about before. Chicklet Orange Tacoma, beautiful plant. It's just a gorgeous plant. It's a beautiful pop of orange. I've had a lot of people tell me that they don't like Tacoma. It's not a great plant. It doesn't bloom very well. It doesn't perform well. That's the old one. This is the new one. This is the new one that Proven Winners just came out with. And it is just such a cool, wonderful, lovely plant. I'm just in love with it. In front of it, I have a line of denim and lace Russian sage. So it's just about to coming into bloom. And then I have my Orange Blaze Nyphophia that's looking gorgeous. My Cat's Pajamas Nepeta, and then of course the Lemon Coral Sedum. I do have my Verbena de la Mina. There we go. Verbena de la Mina right there, that's looking beautiful as well. And that guy has been blooming just nonstop, like literally nonstop. So what a fantastic plant to have in your garden. If you're just looking for easy care plant, get that one, get Miss Molly Butterfly Bush, get Plain the Blue Salvia, and get Superbina Pink Cashmere, and you will be a happy, happy camper. Okay, coming this way, I had some gorgeous Aliums that they're faded out of blooms, but I'm letting them soak up all the sun that they need. You can see I have some over there as well. Here's two more of my Miss Molly Butterfly Bushes. You can see this one is blooming like crazy, and that one right there is blooming like crazy. And then I do have Pink Profusion Salvia here that I underplanted with Superunia Mini Vista Ultramarine. There we go. And that's looking really gorgeous. I told you guys this was going to be a long garden tour, a very long garden tour, because I just have so much beautiful, beautiful stuff to show you. My fig tree has come in, all the foliage has come in, and it's just added a layer of shade under here that I just think is absolutely gorgeous. We did have the arborist come here and he trimmed this, and it looks so much better this year than it did last year. I'm going to come in and I'm going to clean up this whole area underneath, and then I'm probably going to plant something under here as well, which I think will be beautiful. This plant right here, this is called Kalandrina Spectabilis. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous plant, and it is getting to be a little much. It is completely taking over my walkway, which I really do like that look. I do like it when it takes over the walkway, but like I couldn't even take my wagon in here this morning. So I had to go around the other way because I didn't want to mess with any of the blooms. They're just so very beautiful, especially right now. And I just can't bring myself to cut any back because obviously the pollinators are loving it. So really fantastic, gorgeous plant. Back here, I have my white pillar Rose of Sharon. Really gorgeous. It's going to get even taller than that. Hasn't started blooming yet, but I am loving the shape, the pillar shape of it. And I just did a Best for the West event, and somebody raised their hand and was like, you really should put the pillar Rose of Sharons on your Best for the West because they perform so well. So just something to think about. That's a really, really good performer as well. Look at this. Isn't this beautiful? Oh, I just love it. I love it. All right, then here I have my unplugged white salvia. It's looking gorgeous. Another one that has been totally blooming for so long. Pink Profusion Salvia right there, and then my Ladybird Sunglow Callilophus. You guys have asked me to show this area more. I've been kind of skimming over this area a little bit, and I'll take the time and show you this area. I have my Helen von Stein lambs here. I actually pruned back these this morning. I cut back the bloom stalks. I don't like how it looks with bloom stalks on. I think it's much prettier when it's just the foliage, and I think that that's really gorgeous. And then behind it, I have Back and Black Sedum, which again, that's another plant that maybe doesn't do as well for me as it does for a lot of other people, because to me it kind of just sits there and it doesn't really grow enough, unfortunately, and I wish it would grow a little bit more and a little bit faster, but I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait and see because those are only maybe a year and a half old, I would say. So hopefully they'll get a little bit bigger. Here's my Homestead Verbena looking good. I do have to say I have been neglecting it like so badly, so don't look too close at it. There's weeds all in there and everything. But behind there you can see I have my smoke bush that's leafing out right now. That's another new one. And then, oh, my raspberries are starting to look good. These are the raspberries from Proven Winners. I got very, very small varieties, not big varieties at all. And I planted them here and they're starting to look really good. So I'm pretty excited about that. I did have my Tower of Jewels finally faded. It was a biennial and it was just pretty much done. And I don't see any babies, which is unfortunate, but that's okay. And then I have some Euphorbia Wolfeni right there. And I have a ton of weeds that I need to go clean up around here. Okay, so 2 plants that you guys have asked me to point out. One of them was my Yardline Viburnum. Here you can see some over here. I planted these last fall. Ooh, look at the butterfly. Pretty, pretty. That's exciting. So sorry for the distractions. I planted the Yardline Viburnum last summer, I think, and they've pretty much doubled in size, right? So now they should be in their creep year, and they are going to get about 12 feet tall and 4 feet wide, and they're growing really well. They're just kind of taking their time. So pretty soon I'm going to have like a whole wall of living green here, which I think will be really pretty. I do have them in between my Matella Poppy, which is growing. It's got so many buds on it. It's looking really good. I do think I cut it back too far this year. I cut it way, 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 way back. And that's pretty to keep it in check, but I kind of don't want to keep it in check. I want it to be big. This guy can get like 10 feet tall or 11 feet tall or something like that. And that's what I want up here. And so I don't think I'm going to be pruning this year. I think I'm just going to leave it and let it get really big. And then when I do prune it back, maybe I'll prune it back to like 4 feet or something like that. So that's the Matella Poppy. It's looking really good. Here's my bottle brush that's out of bloom right now. I just planted that. And then another plant you wanted me to talk about, somebody wanted me to talk about, was my 7 sunflower tree. This guy is looking really beautiful. It's looking gorgeous. I did limb it up. I had a whole bunch of limbs kind of coming out the bottom and it almost looked kind of like a bush. And so I just limbed it up and to me, it's looking great. This guy's only going to get about 10 feet tall and 10 feet wide. So it doesn't have too much more to grow. It's probably 5.5, 6 feet tall right now. So it's just going to get a little bit taller, but I do want it to look like kind of like a baby standard tree, which I think is going to be absolutely gorgeous. And I definitely needed that look there. Here are my Niagara Falls panicum that I just love this. I love this grass. First of all, it's this beautiful blue color this time of year. It's a gorgeous blue grass, absolutely gorgeous. But the thing that is the most beautiful thing about this grass is the seed heads that it gets in the fall and then the winter interest. And it is just stunning. It is just so beautiful. I love this grass. Get your hands on this grass for sure. And then behind there, you can see my Chinese pistache. I was really worried about my Chinese pistache because it definitely went into shock when we first planted it, but you can see it leafed out. Everything's looking good. All the branches are alive. And now we just have to just kind of baby it and let it grow. All right, let's head over to the center island now. Oh my goodness, it's looking so good, huh? So on either side, I planted Superunia Bordeaux as kind of like a welcome. I am thinking about putting an archway right here. Let me know what you guys think. I actually have an archway. I'll show you over in my long border. I have an archway there with Eden roses that are supposed to be climbing on it, and I don't really like it there, and I'm thinking about putting it here. So I haven't decided yet, but I'd love to hear your input and see what you thought. So then coming over this way, we have a Kindly Privet that's still a baby. It's kind of growing, looking really good. We have Superunia Mini Vista Yellow, more Superbina Raspberry that's looking gorgeous. And then, oh, what happened to this guy? Why are you leaning over? Oh, I think that's a Monty thing. Oh, God, Monty. Oh, hey, somebody told me he's going through his terrible twos. Yeah, he's He's been a handful lately. Okay, so this trio of plants I planted here, and even when I planted it, I wasn't totally sure I was happy about it. And I've decided I'm not happy about it. I am going to take it out, but I am going to give it to my friend Raphael at Park Winters. I'm going to give him these 2 topiaries here. But you can see the privet is blooming right now. It's not the time to transplant it, so we will transplant it at another time. I do want to take you through over here, and I want to show you this El Nino Chapa because it's so beautiful. Look at this plant. Oh, I just love this plant. It is so, so gorgeous. So this shrub is on my Best for the West. It is such a fast grower. It is so beautiful. I love the pink flowers in it. And this guy's going to get about 10 feet tall and wide as well. And I did prune it up pretty significantly. I actually trimmed it so that it only had 3 main branches on it. And I'm really glad I did that because I'm going to limb it up and I'm going to make it look like kind of like a standard tree, just like my 7 sunflower tree and just like my rising sun redbud over there. I cannot get enough of this plant, you guys. It is so beautiful. And I just got 2 more in the mail. So I'm going to be planting more of them. So I'm really excited about it. Now, I've heard a lot of people say that this plant is supposed to smell really good. It has the slightest smell to it, but I really don't think it has that much of a smell. But don't take my word for it because I cannot smell Verbena de la Mina at all. And Jason says it's his absolute favorite smelling flower in the garden. So don't take my word for it. Go smell it yourself. But I can't really smell anything. I have to be honest. So coming over here, these are my rising sun redbuds. Jason and I, we try our hardest to stay on top of, drip irrigation, making sure everything's hooked up to water, making sure everything's fine. We messed up again. These guys, well, actually the whole center island was only getting 3 minutes of drip irrigation, 3 minutes a day. And that was it. And everything was surviving. Everything was doing okay. But you can see my Chandler, what is this guy called? Chandler Juniper. I'll put it on the screen right now. You can see it kind of got brown on the inside. And I kept looking at things and thinking like, why does everything look like it's suffering? What's going on? And I couldn't figure it out. And it turns out the drip irrigation was only on for 3 minutes. So we definitely bumped that up, but that's why you can see a little bit of crispiness out here, but you can see it recovered like no issue at all. It completely bounced back and it's completely fine. We have our little gem magnolia that's looking so good right here. Looking so good. That is going to be such a beautiful specimen tree. Some more denim and lace Russian sage underneath. Some more Shasta daisy, pink profusion salvia, and then of course my weeping atlas cedar over here, which is just looking gorgeous, gorgeous. And then let me take you around here. Oh, let me just show you the crepe myrtles. These are my Tuscarora crepe myrtles. I just want to show you them before they start blooming, and then when we see them after they start blooming, I'll be really excited to show you guys. Okay, so this area right here, this is what I planted up for, hopefully for the Gardener's Idea Book, Proven Winners Gardener's Idea Book next year. We are featuring a spread on warm weather planting with use of rocks, and so you can see my dry creek bed right here. That's going to be featured, and then the plantings behind it. So you can see I have lemon coral sedum, I have Ladybird Sunglow Calliophis, I have whirlwind blue scaevola, I have some lantana, and then I have another of those totem pole panicum and little stem blue star little stem grass. I'll put it on the screen right now. So it's a baby planting, but it should fill in very, very quickly. I just wanted to show you guys this in May. I actually think I'm going to call them this upcoming week and get a load of compost delivered so that I can spread it all over this left side of the dry creek bed. And we are going to be planting more seeds of this California native grass right here. And I'll probably just get one of those sprinkler heads that kind of go back and forth to water it. And I want to see if I can make this area kind of look like a meadow, like a little grassy meadow or something like that. So I think I'm ready to tackle it. I think I'm ready to tackle that this year. While I'm over here, let me get started with the long border. The long border is the area that I've really been working on this past month, and you can definitely see it. I still have more work to do, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to be really focused with the areas I'm working. Instead of like working one day here and then another day over here and then another day day in the backyard, which is what I normally do, I'm going out of my way to try and work like 5 days in a row in the long border and then move to another area. So it's hard for me because that's not how my brain works, but I'm trying, and I'm definitely seeing the benefits of really focusing on one area because the long border has got so much progress in the past month. I'm really, really happy with it. So first on my chain link fence, I have some honeysuckle growing. It's actually blooming. These are babies. I just planted these earlier this year and they're looking really good. So that whole thing is going to be covered with honeysuckle, which is going to be beautiful. I have 3 of the kindly privets that have a lot of new beautiful growth on them, so I'm excited for those to get big. They're going to get 4 to 6 feet tall, I would say, so they're going to be another hedge that's going to block off this ugly area. And then here we have this Superunia Bordeaux. It's a new one. It's a perennial salvia for proven winners. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Monty likes it too. It is a gorgeous salvia with beautiful blue color. I would definitely recommend it. And then you can see my gladiolas. They are just absolutely foolproof. Like, this is such horrible soil, and I did not think, you know, I did not plan on anything surviving here, but the things that are surviving are looking really good, and the gladiolas are thriving. So I kind of knew that. Gladiolas are like weeds for us, I would say. Like, they're absolutely weeds for us. Okay, and then over here, I planted a bunch of annuals that I had vibrant virtuoso dahlias that are going to look really good right here. I have some unplugged white salvia back there. I have some Star Diva scavola, some Superunia Vista bubblegum. You can't really see much right now because they're all young and I cut a lot of them back, but they're going to grow very quickly and look really beautiful. These 3 yellow ones right here, these are candy corn spirea, and this is the color they get this time of year, which is a really vibrant yellow. Earlier on in the season, they're like this gorgeous, oh, it's my favorite, this red color. And then the new growth on them is supposed to be orange, which is why they have the name of candy corn spirea. They're a really, really beautiful plant, a really interesting plant that gives a difference in foliage color, which is definitely needed in a garden. You can see my Crepe Myrtle right there. This is a smaller version of Crepe Myrtle. It's about to start blooming. I usually think around June is when they start to bloom, so that's looking good. Same with my Summerific hibiscus. Those are just starting to grow up, just starting to come out of dormancy and looking really beautiful and are going to start blooming as well. These Superbina Raspberry, we did get attacked with budworms, and you can see we sprayed them and they're starting to grow back. There's a bunch of buds on them right now, which is really exciting. So that's just something that you have to do. You just kind of have to stay on top of it and make sure the budworms don't totally decimate your plants, or you will be sad. And then coming over here, this is where I started planting my friend Claudia's dahlias. I ended here because I ran out of nice thick canes like these guys, and I only had these flimsy ones. And with dahlias, you really want to stake them before you cover them up with soil. So I ordered canes off Amazon actually because I could not find any around me, and I'm waiting for them to get delivered. So this is a project that's not quite done yet, but I'm going to continue adding more dahlias down that way. Really, really beautiful ones. This is the arch that I'm thinking of putting in my center island, right kind of on that entrance with the 2 Eden roses over here. I think it'll be good. They're not too old yet. I planted them in fall. Was it fall or was it January? Anyway, I planted them last winter-ish, fall winter-ish, and so I feel like I could transplant them pretty quickly if I needed to. And then you can see over here, the long border is starting to fill in and starting to look really, really good, which is what I wanted. These back here, these are cookies and cream, Summerific hibiscus. They're starting to come up, which is really beautiful, and they have some dark foliage to them, which is gorgeous. And then you can see I have my honeysuckle. This is my, I can't remember the name right now. I'm blank. Miss Wilmot. Yeah, Miss Wilmot's Ghost honeysuckle right there. So that is going to look good, and hopefully will grow up over my fence, which will be really beautiful. And then have the cookies and cream, the dark foliage in front of it, I think will be really gorgeous. I have some white Veronica here. I have some Sweet Romance lavender, some more Superunia Vista bubblegum, some regular Verbena bonariensis. This is not the meteor shower verbena, so this guy is not sterile, and I'm kind of okay with that because I think it would be really pretty to have it reseed itself all over here. And then this rose right here, this is the honey apricot flavorette rose that's actually edible. So you can pull these and you can sprinkle them on a salad or candy them or something like that, which I think is really gorgeous. Okay, so I know that was a lot. I hope you guys are still with me. I am on the gazebo right now, and I just wanted to show you one last view of the garden from the gazebo view, because it's just a couple feet up from the ground, but it makes such a difference. I just love standing back and looking at the whole garden and seeing what it's looking like, because I can kind of look at it and I can say, oh, I really want some orange right here, or I need a little bit more pink over here. To me, I can get a whole view of the garden and see what else I need. So you saw the zigzag planter. Now this is the orchard garden over here, looking really good. Beautiful. I cannot get over that Cardon. It is such a gorgeous plant. I want some more of those over here in the center island. You can see the center island is looking really gorgeous, and the dry creek bed, which we're not done yet. We're not done with yet, but we have all year. For this year, our project is the center island. That's what we're focusing on this year. Anything else we do is just extra credit, but it's just this year we got to finish the center island. And so we are going to be putting some boulder fountains, and like I said, working on the meadow here. We do have to stain the gazebo and everything like that, but we have plenty of time. It's only May. And then you can see the long border over there, and it is really, I'm so excited to have that a little bit more planted out, because it's going to be really beautiful once everything starts growing and we start getting a little bit more color in there. So everything's looking good. Oh, and then you guys can see we ended up moving that Korean maple. We had a Korean maple right there just to see how it would work with full sun. Didn't work at all. We actually moved it back by the chicken coop. I'll show you all that in the back garden tour that should come out on Monday. All right, so that is it for my May garden tour. I love May. I love May so much, and I love June so much. It is just such a beautiful, beautiful time of year where all your hard work starts to really pay off, and you get to just reap the benefits of all these gorgeous flowers, gorgeous blooms, and you can just sit and you can just enjoy your garden, which is, it's so wonderful. So I want to encourage all of you, get your phones out, get your cameras out, go document your own garden. Like, I don't care if it doesn't look as good as you think that it should look. Document it now so that you can compare it to next year, like you saw in my video, the clips that I took from last May versus this May. What a big difference, and it's just so fun to see. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.